2 coats on the doors too. This is his first coat. Way back and forth. I don't know if I would feel comfortable doing this on my own, renting a rig like this or buying one of those little ones from Home Depot, you know, a Wagner or something, but I guess you could if you felt so inclined, but at least you know what the process is. Do this first before the walls, you know.
It happens with small trips.
I'm just going to extend this video a little bit because you might think this is interesting watching this. I think it is. Okay. So that's his first coat because he's just going to have to jump back on that after a little bit. You only let that dry for a few minutes.
No, I gotta let that one dry a little bit good.
That one a little bit more because
Yeah.
it's such big. It's not just a small piece of baseboard.
So there's no drooping if you get close to it?
Yeah, no, it looks good. Looks good. No drips. No drips. Very nice. And he'll let that dry and then he'll put on another coat. I thought he was kidding when I came down here about 20 minutes ago. I said, well, it looks like you're not going to do any painting today after all. And he goes, no, we'll do it. We'll do it. But he's not going to do you're not doing all the doors in here. You're just getting up to a certain point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time to go.
And then he'll come back tomorrow. He'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, he's got to get under there, nice and clean underneath that plastic. Okay, there he goes.
Okay. I'll keep going. I don't want to hit the line where it hits the paint.
Yeah.
I want to keep my line clear.
Yeah, he's got to be careful because this line is kind of stiff. So as he's dragging it around, he's got to make sure it doesn't drag and hit the baseboard because then it will get a scuff. If he does hit a scuff and he finds it later, then like on the baseboard, he could touch it up with a paintbrush and you're not really going to see it as much as you'd have to touch up a door, let's say, with a paintbrush. We don't want that. No. Because it will look different. The brush lines, if you're doing any touch-up, the brush lines will look different than his smooth spray that he's doing here. Okay? As he's still doing that, he's letting this one sit. And see, even on the door latch, he put masking tape over that, pushed in the latch, and then he put a piece of tape over that, and Kenny came back with his X-Acto knife, and he scored around there. That's how you can get your masking tape nice and tight. See? And before I go upstairs, I'm going to have to look on the bottom of my shoes and make sure I don't track any paint. Anyway. So now the closets, we talked about on the closets we're using the same paint color as the doors and the frames. And the walls in the closet, the ceiling in the closet, the baseboard, the shelf, everything in the closet is going to be the same color. So that's what he's working on now. He can just paint that whole thing. We didn't mind. See how much whiter the color is? And that's fine. In the closets, we don't care about that.
Alright.
So as you're in there, you're going to do all the walls, ceiling, everything, huh?
Yep.
Yep.
Just gotta change the tip. I'm more focused on the trim, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not tomorrow.
Yeah. So you might do the walls tomorrow.
Yep.
See, he's focusing on the trim and the doors and stuff, and that tip is a little bit different. Okay, so then he'll drop back, he'll put a wider tip on there, and he'll do that tomorrow. And then he'll do the ceiling in there, the walls in there, and the shelf and everything with a wider tip. It smells like paint. Okay. Well, he's still going. And I think I've done enough on the video showing you all this. It's quite fascinating watching somebody else work, isn't it? You think, maybe I can't do that after all. But if you're handy, you want to try, you can rent a rig, probably at a rental store, I'm guessing. There's a lot to it. I'm not sure, how they clean that line out. They're going to clean the line out. Do they clean it out with water? Is this water-based paint? I think it is. Water-based. Pretty sure it is. In fact, I know it is. So maybe when he gets done, I'll turn the video camera back on, see what he does to clean out his line, because you got to have that cleaned out. You can't just leave paint set in there, overnight, I don't think. So I'm just trying to stay out of his way, let him keep working. He wants to get done. As it was, he talked to his boss, and I was crossing my fingers that they weren't going to have a problem with me videoing them. He said, no, you can video. I said, I promise I'll try not to waste your guys' time and ask too many questions where they have to stop and talk to me at length or something, So I'm glad they're letting me make these videos so I can show you. 6-panel raised doors. Can you imagine what you have to do with that? Even if you had a mini roller, how are you going to do that? The only place you can mini roll is on the flat surfaces. Then you'd have to use a paintbrush in the sides and everything, and then the mini roller, and then you can't get the mini roller close to the hinges or the door handle, so you'd have to use a paintbrush, let's say. Okay, away he goes. If he had a third guy here, if you could have somebody walking around with him, making sure his cords don't hit his baseboard or anything like that, that would be something to be careful with, on that stuff. And I don't know. I'm not sure how long it takes for this base to dry. I think he just does it in phases. He's got to make sure to remember, okay, what place do I have 2 coats? Which areas do I not have 2 coats? Because I think this door he's got to do again. This door over here he has to do again. He's letting that dry. Now this baseboard over here is 100% done now. That was quick. Just like that. It's all in the prep. Getting everything ready. And a little know-how on how to get this stuff painted. Right? I don't know if I should walk through here. I think I can. Let's see how he's masked off and prepared everything in the bathroom. See, look at this. They've done a number on this toilet, haven't they? He's masked this all off because he's going to come in here and spray. They've prepped it. He's only come up this high because he's just concentrating on the trim and the door and the frame. Then later on he'll have to mask all this stuff off before he does the walls. And I'm not sure what he's going to do, like with the towel ring, the hand towel ring, the the towel bar, the toilet paper holder. I think they're gonna take those off the wall. I'm not sure. If he masks them off, he's gotta mask this off and this whole thing. You know, one way or another. It takes just as long to take something off and then put it back on as maybe masking it off. So I'm kind of curious what he's gonna do with that. Even on the ceiling fan trim, the exhaust fan, the exhaust fan, he's gonna pull that down a little bit. It's on spring-loaded deal. And then he can mask that off and it'll be off the ceiling a little bit. In case, see if this isn't square or whatever, you mask it off, you don't pull it down. Then if you ever have to move this a little bit, you're changing paint colors, let's say, or the paint finish, you're gonna see it around there. So curious what he's gonna do with that. And see, here's your door latches. You just push the latch in and he's taped around it. Okay. Wasn't it nice that we decided to take the strike plates off? Now you don't have to mask around that, and this gets all finished nice and pretty.